This is the cemetery for members of the black community in East Flat Rock, for members of the black church that we were just at in East Flat Rock earlier. And there are former slaves buried here. And I'm going to name you some of their names. George Potts and Lavina King Potts. George Potts married Lavina King in the home of Judge Mitchell King at his Argyle estate. He gave them land on top of Glassy Mountain where they had a log cabin and raised a lot of children. Then later on he gave them land down here in East Flat Rock. And many of you turned around in the driveway of Hortense Potts, one of their descendants. The Potts family still owns all the land where we were at the old school and to the left and the right of that school. So their ancestors were slaves, and Lavina King Potts was the daughter of Judge Mitchell King and one of his black slaves. All right. Also buried here is Israel Simmons, who was born in slavery in South Carolina. John C. Markley and wife Sally Markley. They were the parents of the famous Markley brothers that were some of the most famous blacksmiths in all of Henderson County. She was a very famous midwife and a granny doctor for this entire area of Flat Rock and East Flat Rock. Amanda Holbeck is buried here, and Jackson H. Holbeck, who was a black Union soldier with Company K, 40th Colored Infantry in the Civil War. He left and joined up. He was a slave in South Carolina. He joined the Colored Infantry Unit in South Carolina. And then later on, after the war, he and his wife moved up here. He was one of the first organizers of the Mud Creek Missionary Baptist Church that we were just at earlier this morning. Henry E. Darity is buried here, a former slave, the ancestor of all the Daritys in the county. Augustus Logan is buried here, a former slave, the ancestor of all the black Logans in Henderson County. Reverend D. Hunt is buried here, one of the early black ministers in the county who was born into slavery. All these people were born into slavery, and is the ancestor of the Hunt family here. Nancy Johnson, who was born into slavery, one of the Johnson slaves, is buried here, and many others. And this is still an active cemetery, so you will find new graves here of many members of Mud Creek Missionary Baptist Church, of descendants of these people, and of members of the East Flat Rock black community in general. So they're all buried here in this cemetery, and I encourage you to look around. This is a very historic cemetery, and it's maintained by Mud Creek Missionary Baptist Church, the black church up the road. We don't have but one other cemetery, black cemetery in this county that is intact, and it's its own cemetery that has former slaves buried in it. So this is one of the that we know who they are.
Where's the other one?
Shaw's Creek when we do Etowah next month. Horseshoe. Okay. Any questions?
Is that the name blacksmith, or was he blacksmith?
I think that may be Markley's grave. That may be the blacksmith.
I would think that's it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She worked for Lowell and Edith for 30 years.
Huh, yeah, Winter. That's unusual.
Your mom and my dad went to her funeral together. Because I couldn't get off work today. One day your mom went to sing.
This must be one of the blacksmiths. This is blacksmiths on the other side.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of the big blacksmiths in the area.
I found a headstone over there. Black.
Midwife out or the better. That's the first and the third.
For that age, I mean, that time frame, that is really old.